Hello, everybody. This is your boy J-Mont Reacts. Today we're going to be talking about the Tommy Sotomayor and Chay case again, but this time we're going to be talking about the interview that Chay did with Tasha K. Here's what I have to say on that. That interview, along with the other interviews Chay has done with other creators such as Kwame and other podcasters, shows me that she lacks accountability for her actions. The reason I say that is because she has shown a level of it's not my fault that he should have done this when she literally started the confrontation. Let me reiterate what happened. After about 3 to 4 podcasts on Freshman Fit, they were going to final thoughts. They were halfway through the room when Chay asked him a question. He answered the question. They were moving on to the other half. Then she interrupted. Let me get right. She interrupted. So this is where it started. Then she's like, I gotta ask Tommy another question. Then she led with a question that will trigger most people's like, so accusing him of something instead of she accused her. It's an accusatory question, if you ask me. I'm not a lawyer, but I could see the setup from that question. It's like, why do you hate black women? Now, remind you that she has been on a podcast with Tommy before. Chay has been on the Professional Pig podcast, according to her, 3 times before. And she, what we learned later in the interview, that Tommy has flew her and her friend out to do some OnlyFans content, which we indicate is usually porn. Now, with all these factors into the thing, and you see him, Tommy talks about men's rights. Like he talks about his movie, The Fatherless America, Fuck Those Kids. I think that's the book. Yes. So he's talked about this. She's heard him speak about the situations that males go through, and the how people just like don't really care. And when she says that, it's a leading question to saying you disrespect black women. Now, in the earlier interview, freshman Tommy said this that made just open my eyes at least to some things. No matter what crap people say about him, do you see his baby mamas or his daughters, which are 14 and 16? Shay even lined in a previous interview with somebody else saying they were both 15. 14 and 15. Come out and say anything bad about Tommy? No, you do not. Which indicates, especially if they're baby mamas, you understand that, especially in American culture, baby mamas usually insult the kid of the father, and you haven't heard anything about Tommy's situation. So when she comes out and says, "Why do you hate black women?" and then Tommy's like, "I do not hate black women." He expressed it generally to me like, "Hey, why would you ask that question, knowing that's a trigger to most people when you have a conversation with a person for 3 to 4 hours, you had a healthy debate, and then you had a previous conversation like she texted him and all this other stuff. They've been on previous shows. He got food out. When you say that question on live, what can you consider it as a verbal attack? Because to me, that's just plain all the things. So she initiated the verbal confrontation and then tried to play like, well, I just asked the question. And if you listen to her other interviews after this, she was like, well, I couldn't do that because I see how you act with all my black queens, so I understand. You see? That's reflecting. She is trying to put the blame on black women now instead of her actions, because no way was that acceptable, especially if you look at the whole context of it. Final thoughts, attacking his character, and then not listening to him. This was what happened. He answered the question. Myron said he answered the question, trying to move on, but she kept going in same question. And here's the thing: if you look at the video, he pulls up like, "I talk about all women," and she's like, "You only talk about black women." Like, this is a white woman I just talked about. He pulled up his own feed. When you have to pull up your own feed and show the evidence, and then she does not look nor care about it, and what she says, "I feel." She didn't say "I think" or "I know." She said she's unsubscribed to him for 2 weeks or more. It might be, right? So I just felt the disingenuous of that whole conversation. You unsubscribed. Did you really check out his content? Did you listen to what he said? Did you listen to comprehend or listen to feel? Because to me, it just sounded like you wanted to argue. They were finding thoughts, and literally, she had to be stopped most of the time because, like, you're nonsensical at this point. It was so frustrating. the reason it was frustrating for me is because I have black sisters as well, and they never acted that way. When you only listen to have an argue, and then you attack the man. Now, the reason I really can't fault Tommy is because the way I see it, women keep saying verbal abuse. Let's be honest here. Women are the most contributor to verbal and physical abuse towards men. Why would you say that? Because men are held to a higher standard in society. If they do anything of that, even verbal, they can usually go to jail. They call it assault, stalking. Like, there are so many laws and ways to keep men from expressing or doing anything. Now, this really just made me feel a very sickening thing because I just saw real time a black woman not take accountability for her actions and just escalate a situation. Now, she stood up multiple times. Like, the first time she stood up, Tom was like, what? Like, I just can't even understand why a woman will defend her when she had tried to attack him multiple times with a mic. Then, when Chris came over to just get her off, she literally did attack him. I'm not talking about with a weapon. I'm talking about with just her fist. She connected. She hit him in the face. She assaulted him on live. The fact that any woman would defend Chay actions, even if they try to put the accountability on Tommy Sotomayor, I can't rock with them because that shows me the lack of character on that woman's part. Because you have to understand, you can only control yourself in most cases. Now, if you're heated divide, emotions get high, people get drunk. Tommy Sotomayor has the best case of being drunk, and we saw the level of control he had. Why do you say that? Because he had an interview earlier that day. Here's my main problem. The Tasha K interview showed me that she doesn't accept responsibility for her action because she defamed this man, saying she doesn't condone violence. She insulted him. She went along with Chay's nonsensical arguments that can be refuted if you watch the video, and also if you watch her other interviews where she openly contradicts herself. This right here is a problem that we in especially Black Americans, face. You cannot say you want equal rights and then demand special privilege. The special privilege for this young woman is that she didn't get knocked out. If men were in an argument and then another man hit them, it's all games lost. There will be a fight. The fact that she hit him and then is going on a media campaign trying to paint herself as a victim, even though we have video evidence of the live to show that she instigated the whole argument, she egged him on, and then she attacked him. In no way can I really fault Tommy, because even if you say there's drinking so she lost her abilities, Tommy Sotomayor was still drinking as well. So the fact that he entertained her might have been indicating that he was a little tipsy as well, because think about this. The media, along with a lot of people who defend Chay, are so adverse to accountability. It really tells us how they are as people. Tasha K, she had to be taken to court by Cardi B and pays I don't know how much, but she admitted on the stand. Shout out to TLA, because he did a step-by-step breakdown, that she maliciously intended to do it, that she knew it wasn't true and still did it. She's doing the same thing with Tommy right now. She assaulted a man on live, and she's not taking accountability. Her actions speak louder than her words. She said, yeah, I was wrong there, but he should have done it. Even her words are asserting accountability. Her actions to go into different medias and paint herself as a victim. The actions of men, just like I can understand maybe toxic BMT. Shout out to BMT. He actually did a podcast. Same thing. I can understand. I can't understand men defending her when we know the stats and data on domestic violence towards women who attack men. We understand that women are innate more willing to attack a person, put themselves in situations that are non conducive to a safe environment. We understand the data, stats, and statistics. The fact that most women will rather seek an education than a partner. The fact that they go after F boys instead of men who have a good work ethic or are just not just good character until they're older and maybe have a kid by the fuckboy. The fact that all this stuff happens and then you try to defend that shows me that your character is in question as well. Because you cannot say on a podcast where everybody was drinking, not a heavy amount apparently, because they now Fresh and Fit has come out with receipt how much they let the cats drink when they're with them, because people can't handle their alcohol like a grown adults. They don't know the limit where to stop, and they just can't. Tommy Sotomayor had alcohol, but he did not attack her first. Did his words get loud and abusive? I would say calling her a bitch. If the justification for you to hit a person by calling them a bitch, then this world is just doomed. Because how many women call men ain't shit, N-words, or bitches, or hoes, and all this other stuff? The justification for men to knock a woman out is all there. Any abuse that a woman says a man did to her, she probably did 10 times to a man. And that is the sad reality that we live in, because there is no, what the word is, accountability. What would accountability look like for Chay if this was real life? Well, two people got, I would say, I don't even think Tom was that drunk, but Chay was definitely drunk. I have a clip on Instagram Live from my last video, this considered part 2 maybe, of hers talking. You can tell from her slurs and that she don't care, but then afterwards the way she's trying to paint herself as a victim really sickened me. That is an indicator of a baby mama terrorist, because if you have a baby by this type of woman, your life will be hell, because she does not take accountability for her actions. And you're saying accountability for the actions, she said she did. No, her words and her actions indicate she doesn't. Going on an interview, besmirching this man's name, lying on him. In the Tasha K interview, Jessica X came up on the panel. Let me say this: the callers were more, 2 callers I've seen were more focused on how Chay is not taken accountable. Jessica X and another one, at which Tasha K cut them off. She even said to Jessica X that, yeah, you're asking some good questions. She acknowledged that she was asking some very legitimate questions. And when Jessica X went in like, hey, you attacked a grown man, and what do you expect him to do? Now, there's been indication that she went a mic at him through trying to hit him with a mic, so she attacked with a weapon, but then she connected with her hand. Now, I don't understand, nor will I justify any person defending Chay at that count. The fact that pisses me off even more is that when Chay went on all these other interviews and then is caught in a lie after lie, you literally can see her lying on interview. There's tapes of her lying and being just like literally. And if I took this to court, I would say this: I would show plenty of the videos of her backpedaling, lying, deceiving, skirting the questions, and then showing the original thing, and then point my case towards this. I would say the content of her character is shown here. She's willing to lie, deceive, and fabricate a reality, and we can all see, members of the juries, that what her actions entail. Verbally, like all courts are about verbal debate, right? So you're saying that's a leading question. And then they show her like ignoring his question, like, and then him getting frustrated, because that is the stereotypical answer to every baby mama terrorist. They get you, and then they rile you up, and then when you get to the tipping point, they blame you for anything that happens afterwards. And here's the thing: he didn't react like a typical Pookie or Ray Ray who would have just like snapped at her, maybe went violent. She's the one who snapped because she couldn't get him there. She couldn't get him to hit her. And then she hit him, and he was at in self defense. And that is sickening to me that people who watch that whole clip just justifies her answers. Kwame, like, I thought Mama Cooking was better than that. I think he actually has a BMT, and that the fact that he does just makes me even more like, you hate a man so much that you can't tell what's right from right and what's wrong from wrong. That's man, that's depressing. Sorry, that's just really like grind. That really just agitates me. It agitates me because we understand that from the data and statistics that assault towards men from women is extremely high. Even women on women crime is higher than intersectional relationships. So I just can't even. What really got me too was Tasha K. Actually, Shay took a dig at Tasha K. While she was saying, well, they have drinks on the show and it's their fault. Like, she literally skirted accountability, and Tasha K was just actually just put down her drink. And I was just like, Tasha, she just took a dig at you. Tasha didn't care. Tasha has a problem with Tommy, so she's defending a woman, and that tells me her character. The fact that she lost the case to Cardi, she admitted that she does stuff maliciously, that she brought Shay onto her show even though she hit him. I'm really convinced that Tasha K abuses her husband. And she was like, well, I don't abuse. I'm a sweet old pie with my husband. No. The toxic behaviors that you show to the public is probably indicated that you show even worse than your husband. When you get super angry, and these are people you do not know, you cuss them out, you lie, you discredit them. So what would you do if you got angry at your husband? I'm just saying. Anybody who defends Shay to me is a red flag. I will listen to you because of your opinion, but I, in the back of my head, would not put myself in a proximity towards you, because I can understand how your mind works if you were defending such a person who does such an action and blatantly comes onto the internet to try to say it's not my fault, it's the Fresh and Fit people's fault, it's Tommy Sotomayor's fault. Yes, I had a small part in it by accident instigating it and verbally not listening to agitating this man, and then I hit him, but it's not my fault, it's his fault. This is the sickness that we have in just modern times, feminist countries that promote feminism, because it's the toxic feminists, not feminists like women equal rights. It makes it, we're both human beings that procreate with each other. It makes no goddamn sense that this situation has to happen. You cannot respect another person. That's the bottom line. She did not respect Tommy, and then she assaulted him. I hope, in my humble opinion, that he can sue her. I hope that case can actually go to court, because after watching BMT, I just hope that we can put a light towards female to male violence and show the world that we speak equality, we truly mean it. So if you put your hands on a person, you have to be punished by the court of law. And now, my final thoughts on the situation. The fact that Tasha K was very dismissive towards her assault towards Tommy shows to me that Tasha K is not a good person at heart. The fact that she attacked the lead attorney, and the lead attorney came out with receipts, like, shows me she's not a good person at heart. So when I see her interview or anything of that nature, I would assume that from my perspective, I'm very analytical because I don't want to misinterpret anything because my impression of her, it wasn't great. And this has made it even worse. If you bring on a person who assaulted another person live and then try to justify that person for assaulting you, my friend, have a conflict of character and you probably need a lot of counseling. That's just my opinion. I That's my opinion. I do not know this woman in person, but if I do meet her, I will make sure that I will keep a professional distance. I do not hate or despise this woman because I cannot meet her in person, but her internet persona to me has not shown a great character. Tasha, when you say you sell yourself and then say you don't sell yourself and then you have receipts of yourself selling yourself, that shows to me a lack of character. When you don't take accountability for your acts, that shows to me again a lack of character. You are, last time I checked, for 25. When you lie and say that his kids are 15 or something, you're literally trying to say that you should treat black women better because your mama's black, your kids is black, and your exes are black. The fact that you're trying to bring every black woman into an argument where you were wrong shows me the dysfunction that you have mentally. I hope that you will take accountability for your actions and say this. Yes, I was a little inebriated. I I I verbally instigated the situation, and yes, I did attack him. Why do I hope that? Because that is accountability. Taking accountability for your actions. Well, this has been your boy J-Mont Reacts. I'm just going to end it here because this is getting me a little too hype. I'm just a happy, fun dude. And this is not conducive to a healthy mental space as I see it right now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and, well, peace.